In today's video, we're going to be turning these cold, hard plastic door cards into something a little bit more comfortable. And along the way, I'll show you my custom made parts that I use to get the best finish possible. Let's take a quick look at what we're going to be working with, and then we'll get it on the table and start stripping it down. So these are Volkswagen T6.1 door cards, completely made of polypropylene, which is an absolute nightmare to stick to. I covered this in my last video. I'll put it in a card up there so you can go and look at that. And also there's a couple of things on here that we're going to need to really take a look at to get a proper job and a good end result. Those things are up here where the handle is. Super tight tolerance there. As soon as we start putting material in, it can start jamming the handle. And secondly, down here is the speaker grill. Now what I have seen people do is paint the grill black, and then when they come to trim pocket, they'll bring the material up to this groove and cut it away and leave it at that. Personally, I think that's a really unprofessional look. It's not a proper job, and it's not how it should be done. So I designed some ways to get around these problems, and we'll go through that and have a look at what I came up with. I also need to pattern these, so we'll go through that process and I'll show you how I patterned something from scratch. So with that said, let's get it on the table and get it stripped down. To start stripping these door cards down, I need to remove all these plastic welds. So I'll go around and do that. There's about 1,000 of them on these door cards. So I use a mixture between a drill with a router bit and a chisel just to knock the tops off. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, I have my own parts that I've designed and made in-house. And I'll show you some of them now. So if you remember where the handle is, the tolerance is so tight that if we start putting material in there, it could start jamming, and that's not ideal. So I needed to think of a solution for that. And what I've done is I've made two parts for that area. I've made this part here, and also I've made this part here. So the idea of these two pieces is that on this line, I cut this away, and then that original piece comes away. I place the new profile on, that gets bonded in place and then smoothed into the door card. And then when it comes to trimming, trimmed over, you wouldn't even know it was there or if it was changed at all. And then this back part is fixed to the back once it's been trimmed as well. And then that just looks completely factory and OEM. The other part is a speaker grill, which I've designed, which is here. So this part, once the original one's cut away, this gets trimmed in speaker cloth, and then it clips in there. It's got clips designed to clip onto the original plastic, and it's all done and dusted and looks really, really nice. I've been designing my own parts for a while now to aid myself in trimming, not just to help myself, but also to get the best finish possible with what I have to work with. There's a lot of work that goes into them. Some people might look at this and think it's far too much effort, but I've always said if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. So I go to these lengths to get the best finish I can. We're now going to pattern the door card. The first thing I do is I take a pen and I go around and mark the seams where I want them to be. After that, I use calico. It's non-stretch, and before all the cleaning happens, I glue it over the door card because then it's easier to get off. And then I'll go around, mark the calico, cut it on the seams where they need to be, and then I'll notch the pattern. Then I can take it off and transfer it to card. Here I'm just applying the first layer of glue. I put it both on the fabric and all the plastics, and then I let it set overnight. And then when I come back in the morning, I'll give it a second layer. With this glue, I can reactivate with another layer, or I can use heat to reactivate it as well. So when it's completely dry, I can place it on the door card, line everything up that I need to, and then just reactivate the glue to bond it down permanently.
What's so funny about that?
Now that looks loads better. We got rid of the cold hard plastic and we've trimmed it in alcantara. Nice, warm, welcoming finish. If we start from the top, this handle's been painted black to match. If you remember, we spoke about the pull handle at the beginning of the video. If I hadn't have modified this, we could have issues with jamming, but as you can see, that now opens nice and freely. And then a bit further down, the custom speaker grille that I designed and make in-house, and then covered in speaker cloth to finish it off nicely, and it really looks the part. Now this chap's not just had his door cards done, he's had his lower dash panels done as well. So the glove box, center console, a few dash panels. So when it's all put in the van, it'll all tie in and look really nice. I didn't cover these in the video. I wanted to show you guys the door cards and how much effort I put into these, designing the custom pieces and stuff like that to get the finish as best as possible. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and a subscribe and all that good stuff. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.